When you search Dirty Grandpa into Google Scholar, you are presented with just two academic texts mentioning the movie. One about the technique of translating colloquial expressions in subtitle text, and another about the use of taboo words in Dirty Grandpa. Both excellent contributions to the world of academic expression in reference to the 2016 movie Dirty Grandpa, not to be confused with general research into the dirty work of caregiving in a US nursing home and the people actually working to clean the world's dirty grandpas. Thank you, healthcare workers. And so, 1 decade on from the release of the 2016 motion picture Dirty Grandpa, I would like to add a third entry into the scholarly analysis of this movie. I may not be a verified scholar, but I do have a master's degree in something, and I am a person who watched Dirty Grandpa starring Robert De Niro and Zac Efron and felt that this movie has impacted and moved me so much that I feel compelled to write about it, about the ways in which this movie's been fundamentally misunderstood by its critics. You see, Dirty Grandpa is actually a genre-bending masterpiece in horny comedy that explores and understands masculinity in its barest form. It manages to make you laugh throughout, sometimes because it's bad, sometimes because it's outrageous, and sometimes because it's genuinely funny. It's a movie of so many multitudes. It's the best worst contribution to film since Sharknado, and one of the final blockbusters of the Obama years that really transitioned us into that first Trump administration in many ways. It's Robert De Niro in his finest hour. It has all of those scenes you always knew were missing from The Godfather Part 2 that had to be taken out to appease the Academy. In many ways, the gripes you may have had with The Godfather Part 2 can be atoned for by Dirty Grandpa. Zac Efron plays Jason Kelly, a hotshot corporate lawyer who we meet at his grandmother's funeral. Then we immediately meet his cousin, played by Adam Pally, who's coming in hot with some real jokes.
Old woman fucking murdered like that.
Nick, she had cancer.
That's what they want you to think.
She had cancer for 10 years.
A little too convenient, Jason.
I'm sorry, I'm laughing already. 2 minutes in, I'm already laughing at Dirty Grandpa. If it's the worst comedy of our modern times, critic, then why is Adam Pally making me laugh immediately then? Huh? So Adam Pally is the antithesis to Zac Efron's Jason. Jason is the sensible cousin. He's the guy making money with that coiffed hair look of the 2010s that marked success. He's responsible. He doesn't do drugs. I dare say he needs to learn to loosen up a little bit. And he's about to get married to Julianne Hough, who has a bob, so you know she's a disaster of a woman. I mean, she's planning their wedding at the grandmother's funeral. She must be the most evil and self-centered bitch in the world and not right for him at all. These movies have to have an annoying wife or fiance who's really uptight and horrible so that we can ultimately root for Jason going off and cheating on her in a way and rekindling love with a loose, creative woman and escape the ball and chain of life being married to Julianne Hough. It's a real Rodney Dangerfield way of looking at the world. Now I want you to close your eyes in this moment and take a breath and think, what job do you think Zac Efron's wayward cousin has? And type it out in the comments. Let me know what job you think best captures this man, this prankster. You got it? Let's see if you were right.
Anyway, I'm down in Valdosta right now. I opened up a fucking pet shop. Not pet shop. Puppy mill.
Puppy mill.
You know, designer dogs get a bad name, but they can go for quite a pretty penny.
Really?
It's just hard to get them to mate. I gotta manually do it. You know, I gotta spread and manually shoot in.
Uh-huh.
So what's up with you?
Did you guess? Did anybody come up with the idea of manually breeding dogs for a job? Manually? I hope none of you did, because what kind of headspace do you have to be in to come up with that? It does sound lucrative though. The funniest part is that even though it's morally insane, it sounds like he's kind of rich. He's kind of a successful businessman. Listen, he has no concept of not telling people about bad business practices. He clearly doesn't have a HR department, but that's quite admirable in a way. He's not hiding it like a Silicon Valley bro. He's saying, this is what I do and I make money from it manually. I'm not endorsing it. I, Uncle Herman, am not endorsing this. I'm simply appreciating a man who straight up says, this is who I am and this is what I do. And you know who I am and what I do? I'm still an alpha male and I protect my online data like it's my own grandson. The internet is full of shady sites and trackers, and that's why I'm always connected to a VPN so that I can hide my IP address and keep my data hidden. And thanks to today's sponsor, CyberGhostVPN, you too can encrypt your information and browse the internet safely wherever you are. You just need to turn on CyberGhostVPN before you browse, and it encrypts and reroutes 100% of your traffic through their secure servers, so nobody can know about your online activity. And CyberGhostVPN doesn't keep logs, so not even they themselves know what you're doing online. With just a few clicks, you can change your virtual location and unlock geo-blocked content from tons of streaming services, including Netflix, Amazon Prime, and many more. Or snag better online deals and play games that are blocked in your region. CyberGhost works on all major platforms: Windows, Mac, Android, iOS, even smart TVs and game consoles. Right now, they're offering just $2.03 a month plus for 3 months, so that's 84% off, along with a 45-day money-back guarantee and 24/7 online support. So you can join over 38 million users and grab your discount via the link in my description. And thank you again to CyberGhostVPN for sponsoring this video. 5 minutes into this film, we meet Jason's grandpa, the recently widowed Dick Kelly, played by Robert De Niro. The first scene he's in, he's seen and not heard, which is a fascinating cinematic choice. He's not coming in hot, bursting open the doors and signaling to the audience, hey, I'm here and I'm a dirty grandpa. He's not even teasing the dirty. Before the dirt, or underneath the dirt, he's a bereaved husband first. And that lets us know that this is a serious movie about people going on serious emotional journeys. The next scene he's in is him earnestly explaining to his son and grandson that he wants to drive down to Boca, Florida, to be where him and his late wife would have usually been this time of year. And he needs Jason to drive him, as he's had his driving license taken away due to his cataracts. He no longer has that freedom for himself to drive where he wants to go. He needs help. And even though Jason's wedding is next weekend, he assures him it's only going to be a short trip, and it's what she would have wanted.
It's what she would have wanted, that's all.
Jason assures his fiancée that it'll be a quick one and that he's got everything sorted. And so he drives down to his grandpa's house to find him completely nude in a leather recliner masturbating. As I said, it's pretty tonally similar to The Godfather Part 2. Dick calls this taking a number 3 and has no problem with his grandson catching him in the act. And this is where we start to think, hey, this grandpa might be a little dirtier than I first expected. So the potentially a little dirty grandpa cleans himself up, thank God, dons some aviator sunglasses, a little grandpa hat, and then they set off in a pink Mini Cooper. Because you see, Julianne Hough needed the SUV, so kindly let Jason take her car so that one of the core visual jokes of the movie can be Zac Efron and Robert De Niro rolling around in a girl car, which they refer to as a giant tampon.
You spill it, this giant tampon we're driving in should soak it up.
I will say I was a little disappointed to see a more lowbrow joke in an otherwise quite highbrow and understated comedy about a bereaved grandfather. That is, of course, also about the man behind the grandfather. I mean, he's not just a grandfather. This film explores who the elderly are beyond their relationship to their children and grandchildren. He's not just someone's grandfather, he's also a husband, a Vietnam War veteran, a friend, a colleague, someone's troubled cousin probably, a golfer, and at first glance, a Republican. But is he? Or are these just the labels we project onto him? He's so complicated. He's the anti-hero. And I don't know, I just find it cheap to have such a complicated man reduced to the mouthpiece of a joke about girly cars. Thank God nothing like that will happen again for the rest of the movie. So they set off and we're introduced to the college friend group who are kind of going to backseat drive this plot. We have Aubrey Plaza, who plays Lenore, which is the name of a laundry detergent and now a woman. How exciting. Her whole thing is that she's very promiscuous and wants to have sex with a freshman, an alumni, and a professor in her senior year. And she thinks that Robert De Niro is a professor, so decides that she wants to have sex with him.
I have to fuck a freshman, an alumni, and a professor.
Where did you read that?
In my diary. Where I wrote it.
We have Zoe Deutsch playing Shadia. We don't really explain why she has like an Arabic word as a name. It's simply a way of us later finding out that Dirty Grandpa speaks Arabic. And then we have Jeffrey Boyer Chapman playing Bradley, who is mostly going to be used as a punching bag for all the homophobic jokes that grubby grandfather has to offer.
Holy shit.
What?
Nothing, you're just really gay.
Now, before Jason went the sensible route down law school lane, he wanted to be a photographer and was in photography class with Shadia in his freshman year, who tells us that he has a real gift for taking portrait photos without filters.
We used to take the most beautiful portraits without using any filters or
I've read your diary.
Photoshop.
Which is interesting because I thought all of photography was without filters first. Filters aren't really a part of the act of photography. We're deep in the Instagram filter age of 2016 at this point, so I guess what she means is that he's so good at photography, he doesn't need an Instagram filter. He doesn't need to retouch his photos. Unlike her, who I guess heavily relies on filters despite studying photography for nearly 4 years. Shadia recognizes Jason and goes over to say hi, but unfortunately he thinks that she's a waiter and ignores her, and so she leaves. And then the real waiter of the establishment comes in and explains that she is and has always been the only waiter here. So Jason realizes, oh, Shadia wasn't a waiter, and goes after her. But just for a moment, what kind of Cinderella story has kept this woman here as the only waitress? What reason do they have for not hiring anybody else? I mean, what happened during her eye surgery? Did it just close down? Is it a lack of funds? Or a cruel stepmother cheating her out of a will?
You need to stop being so self-centered, Sam, and start thinking of others. And others need you to go to the diner and mop the floors tonight.
That's not normal. I want to know what her relationship with the world is. And I wish I could know, but with this world, it's a small relationship because we're never going to see her again, obviously. Shadia compares Zac Efron to Mitt Romney. Remember him?
Hey!
God, he's like a Mitt Romney Terminator.
It's a period piece, really. We're constantly getting these firm reminders that it's 2016. And then we get the real mission statement of the movie.
Jason,
What's wrong with-
I want to fuck.
Oh, my God.
For the first time in 40 years, I'm single, and I want to fuck.
Ugh.
I want to fuck until my dick falls off. I want to fuck a horse, and I want to drink its blood.
I'm gonna throw up.
Grandpa is looking for puss. He's also looking for his old army pal Stinky, played by Danny Glover. So they are called Stinky and Dick, in case you hadn't put that together. As I said, this movie is about masculinity in its barest form. There are two guys called Stinky and Dick who are in Vietnam together who feel that the world owes them sex, but only one of them can live out that dream currently, so he must live it out for the both of them. You see, Stinky is on his last legs in a nursing home and is forced to confront the reality of his fleeting time on Earth. They aren't the Stinky and Dick from the 60s. This is a post 9/11 Stinky and Dick. The Stinky and Dick with depleting testosterone levels. The Stinky and Dick who can no longer live without help and care from others. They need help, and they need help admitting that they need help. And so Dick must effectively kidnap his grandson and take him on a fuck rampage. He must. It's the only way he knows how to feel all of these emotions. They get to Daytona Beach, and Jason Mantzoukas appears as a shopkeeper called Pam, who has just 3 little dreads and gives us America's motto.
It's Florida. These people don't matter. What?
Pam is coming in hot with a laugh a minute whenever he's on screen. The rule seems to be that any person with curly hair in this movie is an actual funny person.
What can I do for you, gentlemen? I'm Pam.
You're Pam?
Yeah, it's a nickname. Real name's Pamela.
Pam sells meth and raises money for the 4 kids that he has by 6 different women. Pam has real jokes. He's making me laugh. There is comedy in this movie, I'm telling you. Jason and Dick end up at a college party chugging beers, and Jason gets wasted via grandpa peer pressure and ends up in a hornet thong doing the Macarena. Pam gives him some crack, which he smokes thinking it's weed. He rides off on a motorbike, and then he ends up on a beach. And may I just say, every frame really is a painting. He wakes up with a swastika of penises on his forehead and ends up on FaceTime with a rabbi because, every frame is a painting. There are a lot of sort of Jewish jokes for a screenplay written by a man named John Phillips, and that is all I will say on the matter. A kid ends up wanting the Hornet plushie on Jason's thong, and it seems like something horrible happened. Like something really, really disgusting and horrible, and then Jason gets arrested. Terrible things happen on screen in the absence of either a curly-haired person or a grubby granddad. It's a specific 2016 bro type of humor where we have Zac Efron with his butt out for the girlfriends watching the movie. But don't worry, this isn't for girls, because this is actually an opportune moment for a pedophile joke. There you go, boys. You're welcome. Luckily, Pam saves the sequence when we find him in the holding cell with Jason, which we learn is a place that he always ends up in and gets out of pretty quick. And once again, he's bringing the laughs. He's bringing the goofs.
Here's the deal. What's up? I came in here with a bag of drugs. I'm not gonna lie to you. I can't leave without it. Can you guys hook me up there?
Yeah.
Oh, Gary! These yours? Yeah. Thanks, Care Bear.
Oh, nice catch.
Jason gets bailed out of jail by his dirty, filthy grandpa and drops Dick off at Stinky's house, thinking Stinky can take him for the rest of the way. But of course, Stinky's house is a nursing home. and Stinky is resigned to it. Stinky is a shell of who he was. He's a military man who wants to spend his final month alive playing bingo. And so Dick decides he doesn't want to go to Boca anymore. He wants to go back to Daytona Beach and fuck Aubrey Plaza, and he needs his grandson to drive him there. So Jason is now on day 2 of a trip to Daytona Beach. He's roped into a flex-off with his grandpa, and they win with their grandpa-grandson acrobatics act that they have mastered somehow, after which we find out that Dirty Grandpa wasn't just any Vietnam War veteran. He was in the Special Forces on a classified mission training insurgents behind enemy lines. And from this point onwards, we see a different side of Dirty Grandpa. We see that he's kind of on the side of the oppressed. He challenges our perception of him as a dirty, bitter old man who enjoys homophobic bullying, because when it comes down to it, he will defend the very same people that he enjoyed bullying earlier on.
Hey. Leave my illegitimate black son alone.
We were just asking him to dance.
Well, he don't want to dance.
Well, maybe you want to dance instead.
I don't want to dance.
Colonel Sanders!
It's all right, it's all right. Let's not dirty this place up. It's a shrine. Sinatra sang here. Parking lot.
And he ends up protecting Bradley from a homophobic attack and obliterates Brandon Michael Smith from Sunny with a Chance. And he makes him pay.
Tell him you're sorry you make fun of him for being gay.
I'm sorry I made fun of you for being gay.
And he also implies that he pretended to be gay once to prevent a terrorist attack, and that's why he's an ally, I guess.
And that if you had to be gay with someone for some reason, you know, to prevent a terrorist attack or something, it would be with him.
Meanwhile, Jason and Shadia are rekindling their photography class love. Jason ends up teaching Shadia, the photography major, about photography. Bearing in mind he dropped the class in the first year and she's been doing it the whole time. He's just a natural, I guess. There are some things that women just can't understand, and Zac Efron's style of photography is one of them. Jason learns that Shadia is about to charter a boat for a year to take photos of the effect of climate change on the ocean, which will just be photos of water, I guess. Hopefully they can sell them to Adobe stock or something before the AI revolution and make some money that way, because God knows people aren't paying for photos of climate change beyond 2016. They might pay for you to get rid of them though. Meanwhile, Grandpa is befriending all the people that he beat up last night with his premium war weed. And not only are these guys welcoming him into the group, but crucially, they tell him that he can say the N-word when they let him.
I can say it, I can't say it.
You can say it when we let you say it. Which is never.
So keep that in mind, because he will say it in the next scene, when they let him.
Can I say it? Can I say it? No.
Say it!
But did they actually let him, or did the white writer of the movie write a scene where a group of black people let Robert De Niro say the N-word and then cheer when he does it and sort of are so ecstatic it almost liberates them? We quickly move on to a little High School Musical moment where Zoe Deutsch makes a reluctant Jason sing with her. A moment for the fans, you know, again, a moment for the girlfriends. We have a moment for the boys and then a moment for the girls. A moment for the white boys though, crucially. This movie knows Zac Efron has a female fan base and is kind of every so often trying to keep them along for the ride. So if there's a moment there where they're about to turn to their boyfriend and say, hey, did Robert De Niro just say the N-word? The boyfriend can be like, look, it's Zac Efron doing High School Musical, and we can't discuss anything that just happened. So Jason gets arrested again, it doesn't matter why, and grubby granddad bails him out again, and this is their big sort of fallout moment. Dirty Grandpa tries to talk his grandson out of marrying Julianne Hough, and Jason is furious. He's being forced to be on a fuckgram page, first of all, that he didn't consent to, and now he's getting opinions about his relationship and his quiet, happy life. He's been arrested twice in 2 days. He's at the end of his tether.
I am already unhappy with my life because I've done nothing but get fucked by you and this insane fuck rampage that you've been on.
And in response, Dirty Dick gives us the most powerful sentiment a grandpa can pass down to his grandson.
It wasn't a fuck rampage for me, it was a fuck rampage for you.
This whole time, it was a fuck rampage for him. It was all about Jason meeting a creative climate change girl so that he can stop living in his father's shadow. But Jason isn't ready to face that final hurdle yet. He wants to go back to Blonde Bob. So back in Atlanta, Adam Pally has cornrows. This is hugely disappointing news for anyone like me who might have been hoping that he would never have cornrows at any point. And at this rehearsal dinner, Jason sings a duet with his fiancée in a scene that mirrors that duet that we just saw with Zoe Deutsch. But Julianne Hough is really breathy and she's not fun like Shadia. She's taking it way too seriously and he's not into it. It just doesn't have that same magic as him with Gabriella or Shadia. Meanwhile, Grandpa changes the photos on the wedding slideshow that is playing behind them to photos of Jason on their Instagram page and humiliates Julianne Hough. Instead of thinking, oh no, how humiliating. All my family and friends just saw me butt naked on a beach being fucked by a dog, Jason decides this is time actually for a public breakup with his fiancée at their rehearsal dinner. And he's not even going to say it to her face, he's going to sort of pass it down.
He doesn't think that he can marry you. She's laughing, so I think that you're in the clear, bro.
But it's actually fine because she immediately admits that she's been having sex with 𝘹𝗵𝘁 whilst Jason was away. And maybe she's the reason that he has cornrows, I guess. We never know. So I guess it's even. And Jason immediately runs to Shadia and decides to join her on a climate change boat. And they make out the very same hour that he broke up with his fiancée at their rehearsal dinner. And Grandpa leaves his grandson and us with one final pearl of wisdom.
Jason.
Yeah?
Back in the 80s, when Andre the Giant used to go to the Playboy Mansion, he'd stack 5 playmates on top of each other on a bed and finger fuck them all, 5 at a time, because his hands were so big.
So the oppressed are liberated, and Aubrey Plaza comes in at the 11th hour to finally give them what they both want, and they have sex. A post-credit scene reveals that they have a child, and Aubrey Plaza becomes Jason's grandmother, his dirty grandmother, I guess. And our two curly-haired friends finish off the movie with some real jokes once more. Finally, we're starting and we're ending with some real jokes.
I'm just gonna put this out there once. I know your baby just got baptized, but I've got a guy in Tampa who will pay upwards of 60 grand for a healthy, white, male baby that can fight. This is a good deal, you should take it.
I don't know this guy that well, but he seems extremely trustworthy.
Oh, yeah.
They're kind of stealing the show from Robert De Niro, and that takes gall. Jason Mantzoukas has it though, he really does have it. And that is Dirty Grandpa. Critics will call it one of the worst movies of all time. I think critics have never seen art house clown cinema. Tell me, would you rather watch a film student's 3-hour silent movie about seasonal depression or Dirty Grandpa? Because I know what I'm choosing. This is a movie that doesn't believe in depression. It's a movie that kind of says, not all Vietnam War veterans killed children. Some of them were liberating the oppressed, I guess. And not all shitty fathers are incapable of admitting that they were shitty fathers. This is a film where Dirty Grandpa admits that he has been a bad father and a bad grandfather, but he's ready to change, and he's not about to watch his grandson sleepwalk through life like his son did. It's about generations of men coming together to admit to themselves that under the surface, they're more similar than they make themselves out to be. They're all carrying pain that one another has caused. They're imperfect sons, imperfect fathers, imperfect grandfathers, and they are written by an imperfect screenwriter. But crucially, all of them want to be better. And you know what? He wasn't even that dirty. Thank you for watching. I have been your Uncle Herman, and thank you again to CyberGhost VPN for sponsoring this video.